Hello everyone, welcome back. Before we move deeper into FastAPI, there's one important Python concept we need to understand, and that is type hints. FastAPI relies heavily on type hints. It uses them for validation, documentation, and even automatic data conversion. So before we use them inside FastAPI, let's understand what type hints actually are in Python. I'll create a new file here. I'll click on this new file and then I'll write here type not in this. I will create here type underscore hints dot py inside this app. Now let's start this. So first I'll create a variable name and then I'll just write stats wire. Here Python can understand that this is a string, but what if another developer read this code, or what if our editor wants to help us? That's where type hint helps. We can tell Python what type this variable should hold. Now let me give you an example. I'll write here name and then I will also give the type, that is it is going to be string, and then I will just write here stats wire. Similarly, we can also try other data types. Let's say age, this is going to be integer. Okay, here I have to put here colon, age is integer. Then let's say 5, I think 5 years I've completed on YouTube. Then price, this is going to be float, and this is going to be 0.0. There's no price for this. And is active, this is going to be a boolean bull, and the channel is active. I'll write this here true. So you see the difference between the two. Here you don't define the data type, but using this type hints you explicitly define whether it is a string, integer, float, or boolean. Now the syntax for this is, if you want to remember, just you have to write variable name, that is name for example, or age for example, then your data type, and then you have to assign some value. I'll comment it out this line. So this is a syntax you can just remember. This makes code much easier to understand, especially in large projects. Now the second one is functions, function parameter type hints. I'll create a simple function here. Let's say define greet, and then we will use type hints here. This function takes a variable user name, and then we will define the type, that is going to be string, and then this will just print f hello and then the variable user name. Now what is the advantage of using type is, let's say if I want to assign username is equal to 10. Now you see here I am getting a warning that is not an assignable to declare type string, is not assignable to string. That means this variable only takes a string. I cannot assign an integer value to it. So this is also a benefit. When you are assigning any other data type, you will get a error here, and you can just remove it and correct your error. So this is a simple function we have defined here. User, this function greet, and the parameter is username, and it is going to be type a string. Now let me call this function. I'll just call print, then greet, and I will just write a random name, let's say John. And now here I'm going to run this Python type hints hello John, and if I write any number here, this is giving me an error because it cannot take integer here. It can only take string. So you can see username of type string in function. So this is the benefit. You cannot pass any random data type when you are using type hints. Now we can also use this type hints in return types. Let me show. We can also specify what a function returns. Let's create an add function. I will write here define add. This will take two parameter, a which is integer, b which is also integer. And now what I mean by return type is I will write this arrow and I will say that this function returns integer type. Now I will return this a plus b. Now let me execute this print add and let's say 10 and 20, and I'll show you what happens if I change that data type. So 10 plus 20 is 30. Now instead of 20, if I write here 20.0, you see I'm getting an error. Argument of type float cannot be assigned to parameter b of type integer in this function, in function add. So when you define this data type, you cannot pass any random data type in your function when you are calling it. That's the benefit of type int. So I have to remove this 0 and I have to make it integer, then only this code will work. So this makes function behavior very clear. When someone reads this code, they immediately know what inputs are expected, that is integer, and what output will be returned, that is integer. Now there is also collection type hints. Let me show you with example what do you mean by collection type hints. I will make a variable numbers and then I will have list, and all the elements in that list are going to be integers. So I will define that here list of integer and then I will create that list 1 2 3. So you see that here I'm making this common mistake. I have to put this colon here. So this is the list, and inside this list I have these numbers. That's why I'm putting here integer. And if I have, let's say, string apple and here's, so I'm getting error here because this only takes integer and I'm passing string here. So in that case I can just change this and this will become list of a string. So this is collection type. This is a list and every item should be an string here. This should only contain strings. Very useful. Now let's look at dictionaries. I'll make a variable shipment and then I will define dictionary, and in dictionary we will have key which is going to be string and value that is also going to be string. And let me show you what if I change this value. So first I will just write content, let's is chair, and then status is going to be, let's say, delivered, and here I have to correct it. It should be colon. Now what if I make a new key price and if I write 100 here, it says that type dictionary can only take string as a key and also value as a string, and I'm passing here 100, so it is not assignable. And what if I make this string? I'm not getting an error here. So this says that I can only pass here string, I cannot pass integer. Or if I want to pass integer, let's say I'll remove this. What I can do, I can use this symbol or, and I will pass here integer. So the values can either be a string or integer. Now I'm not getting any error. This means keys are strings and values can be string or integer. Let's talk about optional. Sometimes a value may exist or may be missing. For that we use optional. First we have to import it from typing import optional. Now let's take an example. I'll make a function define get email, and this function will take an argument email, and this is going to be optional. and the type of this is going to be string, and this will print email. Okay, so this says that I should put this at the top. This is just a warning. You can ignore it. Now, this means that email can be a string or it can be none. Let's test it. If I print this, print, and then I will call get email, and inside this, let's say I will write here abc@example.com. Now let me call this type hints. Here you see abc@example.com, and I said this can be you can even pass an email, or it can be optional. That means you can even not pass anything. You can just write none. Let's say if I call this print get email and then none, I will not get any error here. So let me execute this code here. Here you see I'm getting none, but I did not get any error. So this optional is very useful when values are optional, whether you want to pass it or you don't want to pass it. Now let's talk about the last and very important and interesting one. Sometimes we don't know the type, or we want to allow anything. For that we use any, and for that I will write here from. First we need to import it from typing import any. Now I'll take the example of dictionary that we saw here. I'll copy this from here and then I will paste it here. So this dictionary can take string or integer. I should okay, no, let's keep this as it is. Let's say I add one more key here, and that key is age, and I will write here, let's say 15.0. Now I'm getting an error. It says that the dictionary can take either string or integer, but I have passed float. Now what I can do in this case, I can remove both string and integer, and I can simply pass any. Now I can pass any data type here, whether it is a string, float, integer, or even boolean. It will not throw any error. Any disables strict type checking. So you have to use it carefully. When you want to make sure that you can take any data type, you can just use any here. Now let's talk about, before we wrap this up, let's talk about literal and annotated. These are also important. So sometimes we want to restrict values. For example, shipment status should only be pending, shipped, delivered. We can enforce that using literal, and we also have to import this from typing import literal. Now how to use it? I will define a function, define get status, and then this function will take the parameter status, and this status is going to be literal. That means it can take only these defined set of values, that is, let's say pending, and the other one is shipped, and then it will print status. Now I'll call this function print get status, and then uh, let's say I will write here status, I will take pending. Yeah. Let me call this function. So here you see pending, I got it. Now instead of pending, if I write here delivered, sorry for that, I'm getting an error. argument of type literal delivered cannot be assigned to parameter. So you will use this literal when you want to fix your values. Now let's talk about the last one, that is annotated. This is newer and useful in FastAPI. Later we will see, and whatever we have seen now, we will see all of them using in FastAPI. So for annotated also, we need to first make the import from typing import annotated, and then I will write a function, define, let's say greet underscore user, and then this will take the parameter name, and then annotated will take first the data type. It is going to be, let's say, string, and then username, and then this will print name. Now this let us attach extra metadata to our type. We will use this later in FastAPI. For now, just know that it exists. I can also print this. I can also call this print greet user, and then let's say John. Let me execute this code. So it is giving us the output John. But we will use this later in FastAPI. I don't want to make this a video long, and then you will understand the actual meaning of this annotated data type. That's all for this video. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like my video, you can subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching.